when you approach the site or the building. First thing that strikes you is you see the trees as a whole. There is no presence of the building. You only see shadows of the trees falling on the walls, and then there is a hint of the brick jalis that we created in some parts. The house itself acts as a backdrop for the mango trees that were existing.
We were approached by the clients, an aged couple, to build their retirement home in Hyderabad here. Having lived in most of their life in the city, they wanted to move away to the more serene and calmer outskirts. And they bought a huge property rested in between a mango orchard. They just wanted a 4-bedroomed house with ample living spaces and a garden that they can have views onto. Because the site was so strong in terms of its character with the trees and being such a large land, we tried to take advantage of the same. From the ground floor, every space looks onto one of the mango trees on the side, and from the top you see the foliage of the trees from as you're walking across the bridge or even in the bedrooms.
So the trees are really old and quite large. So the first impression of the site is we wanted to keep every single tree that is there on site and somehow intertwine the whole building around the trees. The site measures about 1 acre. All the sites have a grid of mango trees. So these were almost into 3/4 of the site. So we had to strategically place the building around the trees, and we had to somehow make sure that the trees get absorbed into the building. So the sun sort of goes from here to there. So we had to do a lot of buffering on the south side so that the heat doesn't get into the building, and the approach road is common for all the neighboring plots. So this being the last plot, you come in through here and you get dropped off here and then go back to the same road. So the approach is from there onto the site. So we identified a large lawn pocket here. So we made a small pavilion there through which you can sit and have a view of the entire site. What we tried to do with this house is buffer the east and western sides with brick jalis basically. So which is the only presence you will feel among nature while you are within the building as well as outside it. And there is a large courtyard in the center of it. So the house is in a C shape with a courtyard on the north side. There are these very large old mango trees which come into the house. Each of those trees have been dealt in a certain way. One tree goes into the water court, another tree goes into a dry court there. Two of those main trees come into the central courtyard. You enter into the house this way.
We wanted some playfulness with the entrance door. So only when you open it do you realize that it opens differently and not like a standard pivoted door.
You come on to a drawing area. Then once you walk across, you see the open courtyards on both the sides, which transits you into the main living area, which has steps which takes you up to the 2 bedrooms on the top. The western wing has 2 bedrooms on the ground floor with a living area on the center.
The wall holding the staircase actually is a combination of a brick and steel structure, and it also becomes like a nice backdrop for the living space. So the clients had a very extensive collection of art which they've like kept from years, and these had to be housed in this house as well. So we found this space which was the long corridor leading, connecting all the bedrooms on the ground floor. We made this look like a sort of a gallery wall.
Once you go up, there are 2 more bedrooms and the house is only till there. So both the bedrooms on either sides are connected by one single bridge on the top. The rest of it becomes like a double height area.
We usually don't do any openings on the south side, but as we walk up, you see this site offers a fantastic view of the lake in the distance. So we decided to create these openings in this wall. We are on the bridge which connects the 2 bedrooms on the upper level. We added a planter to break the monotony of this space, and the north light washes the brick jali wall throughout the day. And also this bridge is accentuated more by the use of this Bharat tiles, which are again there at the entrance space as well. So we designed the structure in a way that we avoided all beams, so the doors can really go from floor to ceiling. With this, we tried to play with the scale of the house, and it adds to the drama of the interior spaces. We added this window in this room which overlooks the lower floor. This was more done with an intent to keep the family connected in terms of a dialogue. For the daughter's room, we tried to use more delicate colors of mint green and a blush pink. And this mint green finish, what that you see is a lime plaster based texture paint which goes in parts through the room. And we try to take advantage of the property that we have and created openings on both ends of the wide room. This is a customized bar unit designed as per the client's requirement. Behind the bar unit, you see this feature wall which runs along the length of the corridor. It's finished again in the same lime plaster finish. We added brass accents and some sculptural elements to add character to the wall behind. The cement tiles run onto the wall also again to break the monotony of the yellow wall.
So we added a lot of skylights in the house. For instance, the bridge connecting the top 2 floors has a skylight on the north and a planter below it. So all that light is washed on that brick wall and it falls on the planters below. There is another pergola over the water body which casts all these really nice shadows onto a stone cladded wall on the north. Above the staircase, when you're climbing up, there is a planter, so we added some skylights over that. There is a transitory corridor on the first floor. There are some skylights there. One of the toilets has a skylight.
The flooring is also again Italian marble, which was again kept to a beige, again highlighted with a few handmade cement tiles in a few spaces. We accentuated a few walls throughout the house and in the bedrooms using colored lime plaster. In one of the bedrooms, we even made the wardrobe shutters as mirrors, so it reflects the outdoor landscape and seems larger inside.
There is another entry directly into the courtyard. It takes you by surprise once you come inside because you feel like you are entering into a closed space, but you actually enter into an open space. When you're entering the property, you only see this whole front part, which is only a single floor structure, which is actually slightly lower than the trees in the front, but it's actually a ground plus 1 building. Till you come into the courtyard, you really don't see the presence of the top floor.
We got these statues from Mahabalipuram and placed them throughout the house, inside as well as the outside, especially in the courtyard. The idea was to have it look like a temple ruin, and that's the reason we used stone extensively outside.
The courtyard has all these projection boxes which are all floating. We kept the corners open so that there is view all around. So one projection box becomes a drawing area, another one becomes a dining, one becomes a sit out. We added a small water body onto the northern side of the courtyard. So there is another projection box on that also, so it feels like you're sitting on water. To give the building a certain transparent character, we started controlling all these openings depending on the area it encompasses. We really wanted to blur that inside and outside boundaries. So these walls, which are quite opaque in the daytime, become quite transparent in the night. So we developed this system of lintel and beam systems. Wherever there are beams, it sort of goes behind the brick wall. And then there is one lintel at railing level, one is at slab level. All the projections happen at about 2.4 meters high. There is another lintel at railing level from the ground floor, and then finally you see the slab on the bottom floor. So that brick wall sort of happens here. On the railing part, where we don't need it to be solid, it's kept quite transparent. Where there is a beam behind, we made it opaque so that you don't see the beam. Wherever we wanted to frame some trees and all, we made some openings within the given lintels.
Beige was kept to be the most dominant color throughout the house. Even using the usual red brick color was seeming too strong to be used on this side. So we just stuck to keeping everything neutral and used beige throughout. This was complemented again by using a lot of cement walls and cement ceilings and a lot of wood and brass in the interior spaces.
So we started creating all these niches in the courtyard. Some are projections, some are semi-shaded areas like this where we put the swing. So that even though it's one space, you have this multiplicity of experience when you're sitting in different corners within the courtyard itself. It's sort of a very intimate space even though it's open to sky.
Since the mango trees were so strong in terms of their position already on the site, we kept a remaining landscape to a basic minimum. We identified a few pockets around the courtyard which met the building. These were minimally done up with semi-shaded plants like Calathea lutea and Rhapis. And even on the exterior, most of it is just kept open without any major interventions in terms of trees or landscape elements.
Wherever you are in the house, you are always aware of these mango trees, either through sound or visually or through shadows.
Though it was meant to be the retirement home, I think the house brought out another side to the clients where they are really enjoying entertaining guests as well as play with their grandchildren, and they're using all parts of this house to do so.